Man, these weeks go by days so fast.
Awesome. Thanks for being here, Melissa. She's in Canada right now, and I'm in Mexico, but hopefully she'll be back soon. I'm in the muscle shirt and she's in the sweater. Anyways, today I wanted to jump on here and talk about could your coffee habit making you sick? And I say that not to scare you, but to bring awareness. Melissa and I, we teach the course of menopause reset. We do one of our classes, we dive so deep into what's happening in your household. And today we just want to talk about the one thing that we teach that I know has been kind of like a game changer in my household, but also for you, Melissa, as well. And it's not that coffee is bad, but it's the way that we're making our coffee and it's the quality of coffee that we're choosing that we want to talk about today. So I'll start off and then Melissa's going to share her story because it is a pretty big story, especially with her family that was really hard nuts to crack with this habit of making like Keurig coffee versus doing a French press. But let me just share some information here. So most people are making coffee in a plastic coffee maker. That's just the reality. If you look at statistics, people are buying the Keurig and they are literally making their coffee in plastic. Then they're buying the pods and then they put the pods in the plastic maker. So you're putting boiling water, or boiling water is making in the plastic. It's moving through the container and putting it in your coffee. What most people don't know that the plastic has very, very harmful chemicals called BPA, as well as it's called phthalates, which they're known endocrine disruptors. And you're like, okay, so what does that even mean? Well, for women, especially as we head into this midlife, our organs maybe aren't working as well as they did in our 20s, 30s, and 40s. And what we used to get away with in those early years is catching up with us. And this is just one example of how these toxins start to add and accumulate up in our body. And so what can they do? Well, first off, our body is so smart. We store them in our fat cells. So women, if you're having, some trouble losing weight, or you're feeling a little puffy, or you're feeling a little bit inflamed, again, this is what Melissa and I are teaching women, is start to look at these really important habits that you've been doing for a number of years and you're not even aware that every time you have that cup of coffee, you're literally adding these endocrine disruptors that could be impacting your hormones, your brain function, and your weight loss goals. But I'm going to stop talking for a sec because I want Melissa, because I remember when she started to go through this transition with the coffee habit, there was some resistance in the household. So let's hear about Melissa's story and where her family is at today.
Yeah, it wasn't resistance for me because it was just such a simple switch and from just any old coffee to organic coffee because the any old coffee, if you will, can grow much lower on the ground. So you can have a lot of other, you can only imagine stuff that's on there. So it's not very clean from the get-go, and then the sprays on it and so on. And then, as Nicole said, the plastics in the coffee maker, but then also, those white filters that you put in there to brew your coffee? Guys, they are bleached. Ugh. So you're getting the lovely toxins from the plastic, and then you're running it through these paper, um, chlorine-filled papers to brew your coffee. So when I was shown how to use a French press, it eliminated all of that because I have a nice, I had a glass one. My family broke it once they got converted. But then I bought a stainless steel one, which is double insulated, which is nice, which keeps it clean. And it kind of changed the whole process of making coffee. It was just a calmer, just enjoying the process of making it and buying organic beans. And then you just grind them, which is keeping them fresher as well, because you grind them as you need them. And you put them in the French press, fill it up with water, put the lid on it, and just let it percolate for a few minutes and then pour it. And it the flavor is so much better because another thing that those white paper filters do is they absorb fat that's naturally occurring in coffee beans. And probably some of you are thinking, fat and coffee. Yeah, they're beans, right? So they have fat and it will trap the fat in the filter. And that means your coffee is going to be more acidic. So that's not good for our health. And it tastes not as good as well. So by using a French press, you eliminate the plastics, you eliminate the paper, the chlorine, and you get a way better tasting cup of coffee. And just kind of the energy with it is nicer because it's just a calm process of making this amazing coffee and it tastes so much better. And anybody who drinks coffee, I'm going to say is a coffee snob to some degree because you like it a certain way, right? If you don't like sugar, you get a speck in your coffee, you hate it, or you don't like milk, you hate it. This takes the coffee snob to a whole new level because it just tastes so much better. It doesn't have that bitter aftertaste, or kind of some of them don't even have any taste at all. So huge change. And I started doing this and I've given up trying to convince my family to do anything, but then they broke the carafe on the old coffee maker. And it was so like, mom usually runs out and get that. I'm like, I'm not going to get it. I'm not using that. I'm not getting one. This is it. And now they've all switched and they love it so much better. So yeah, simple things to do. And then your family eventually, some of them catch on.
I love it. Thanks for sharing that. The one thing also too that I just recently researched was, I know you're going to not like me by opening up the box, but a lot of you go to Tim Hortons or you go to Starbucks. Guess what's in the coffee cups? hmm Endocrine disruptors. They're not using organic. That would be way too expensive. That would cut out of their profits. So every time you run off to go get your second or third cup of whatever, Java, guess what ends up happening? Every time you're drinking that, you are what? Drinking those endocrine disruptors. And it's sad. It's just sad. But that's what it's come down to, is us just bringing awareness to, like, again, these habits and where are these toxins coming in from? Don't have to be perfect. Maybe every once in a while you go out and have a coffee, but just to be aware of, like, you can imagine if you're doing this on a daily basis, how that adds up. And then
Mm.
when we're sitting here and coaching women, trying to make changes in their lifestyle, that's just one habit. We start to go through their entire day, and all of a sudden they realize, holy mother of, now I understand why maybe my hormones are off, or, oh, I understand why I'm not feeling so great, or I wonder why I'm in a disease state. And you're like, yeah, because all of these little habits add up to a bigger picture. So
And
things, yeah.
And people will say, oh, it's just one cup a day. I'm like, but that means every single day you're giving your body a hit of these toxins. Your body never gets a chance to flush it out. I had this conversation with a friend. We say, oh, but I only have one a day. I just go there once a day. I'm like, but every day you're doing it. Every single day, it's just adding and adding and adding. So yeah, like I said, it's not about perfection, but it's awareness and something to think about. You can make delicious coffee at home and put it in your to-go cup and take it with you. Especially if you get a nice to-go cup, it will stay hot for a long time. So, yeah, simple changes, right?
Awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in for our weekly coffee chat. If any of these videos inspire you, we do put them up on YouTube so that you can watch it or share it with a friend that maybe needs to hear this message. And if you know of a friend that is going through kind of midlife and needing some help and some community, make sure that you invite them into our amazing community where we want to really just raise women up to shine and be the best version that you can be in any stage.
See you
Awesome.
later.
Bye.